everyone, my name is Sarah and I've been homeschooling our kids for about 4 years now. I have 4 kids, 7, 5, 3, and 1, and my husband and I run a wedding photography business and we can do that from home. So I know that tons of you have been thrown into homeschooling just all of a sudden, and this is a brand new adventure and most of you are going, it's a nightmare. So I wanted to take some of our experience and give you guys some tips that have helped our family tremendously so that you can feel calm and organized in your schooling. So number one, to set a school time. So it is wonderful that they're not having to get up and go to school, and you can allow them to sleep in a little, allow yourself to sleep in a little, and that is a silver lining of all this, right? But we definitely still want to keep to some sort of routine. Everyone thrives off of that. Not that it has to be super rigid, but that they know what to expect. Okay, by this time we're going to be starting school. So you need to have all of these things done before that time gets here, right? So set a consistent time. And you're really going to be hopefully surprised that it's going to take a lot less time to do school than how long they're in school. So for us, I've got a 2nd grader, kindergartner, and preschooler. It takes us probably 2 to 2.5 hours a day and only 4 days a week to get things done. And they're plenty smart. We're not like skipping things, missing things. They know a lot. Smart kids, good readers, good at math, all of that. So, but if you don't have a classroom full of kids, you can get through the material a lot quicker. So you're going to notice that hopefully that'll shrink for you. So don't feel like you're not doing something right if it's not taking that whole amount of time. Hopefully it won't, and you can be efficient and knock it out quickly, and that'll be a silver lining to this, right? So get it done quickly. The second tip is to set a school zone. So you want to have a designated area that's for school. You probably don't have a separate room to have as a schoolroom, and that's okay. Before we used our kitchen table, and that works, or dining room table. So you can easily do that, and then it's nice for them to know that this is the school zone. We're going to stay in this area during school time, so you're not having to constantly holler to bring people back in and refocus, right? So you've got your zone. The third tip is to keep stuff organized. So if you're hearing, use my kitchen table, are you crazy? Like, that's going to drive me crazy to have a mess on our table. Don't worry, we have a solution for that. So have them use their backpacks, just like they're going to school every day. They bring them out to the table, they get their little area set up every day, and then their responsibility is to take all of their stuff back into their backpack and clean up before they leave the table for the day. Good for them to take ownership of that, to know that they can't just leave things a wreck, and to put their things back where they belong. Another thing you could do instead of backpacks, before we had our schoolroom, we just used a wicker basket. You could use a plastic storage bin, just something that's going to fit their books or a binder size in it. But this works great. Put everything in it. I even have a little caddy in here for their markers and crowns and other little craft supplies like glue sticks and scissors. So we have all that on hand. I'm not having to run to a different room or area to grab these things. Everything that we need for that school day, I'm going to go ahead and have in this bin so that we're ready. And then when school is over, we can just get rid of this. I can put it in the closet or the laundry room, somewhere where it's out of sight, so I'm not having this mess of school stuff that's going to drive me crazy on my table all the time, right? So taking care of that. Okay, and then my 4th tip for you is to prepare ahead of time. This is going to bring you so much calm. It's going to help the day go by so much more efficiently. You're going to be so glad that you took the time to do it. So I don't know how early your teachers are sending you their lesson plans for the week, their materials and things. So this might differ for each of you, but what I do is I take a little bit of time over the weekend, like maybe Friday or Saturday or Sunday night after they've gone to bed and they're not running around me, and I can be focused and I figure out what we're going to do all week. and I use a Google Sheet. I love to be organized in that way. If that's not you, that's fine. I'm gonna link the Google Sheet below, like a duplicate of it that you can grab and use. Now, if you have one kid, you can just take their lesson plans and run with them. But if you have multiple kids, you might actually look through their lesson plans and decide to organize the flow of them a little bit differently depending on what they're having to do, what's going to fit better. So for instance, if you've got some time that you need to actually instruct them, like be teaching them, you can be doing that with one child, get them set up with a worksheet that they could do independently, and then you can move on to teaching this child. Instruct them, get them set up with a worksheet they can do independently, and then, so you're just switching back and forth. And so it gives you a chance to know what's coming up, right, for them, and know how you want that flow to go, what you think is going to work best for the different kids that you have. There's nothing worse than sitting down and then you're having to read and look through it, and now you've lost their attention and they're getting up and they're being loud and they're being disruptive, and you've lost their attention, and you have to holler and bring them back to focus again. So what helps me tremendously in preparing ahead of time is that we can be super efficient. When it is school time, we are rocking and rolling, right? We are getting through the material, not in a hurry, stressful way, but an efficient way. So I love having that already in my head ahead of time. I'm not sitting there reading the directions right in front of them for the first time. I've taken what really didn't take me very long, the time to prepare ahead of time. And that way I feel calm and organized, which helps me have more patience as I'm dealing with them during school, right? We all need more of that. I want to be sure that you have all your materials ready to rock. If they're supposed to do some kind of craft or experiment or something, and you don't have that on hand, it gives you a chance to go get it, or in this type of climate where we're just not going to the store, or at least not very often, you don't even have to bring that up. Like, okay, we're not able to do that this week. We're not going to do it. If you have that flexibility with your school. And so I love having those things prepared ahead of time. Okay. And the last tip, number 5, is just to give yourself some grace. This is a brand new challenge, a brand new space for you, a brand new journey for your family. And everything that's going on around us is pretty stressful. So try to enter your school time, leaving all of that behind, forgetting about it, focusing on your children, and just give yourself that patience with your own self, learning this, figuring out what works best for your kids' personalities and your personality. And I think that you will find a rhythm and a groove that works well, that's not so stressful anymore, that you feel like, okay, we got this. We can do this for a couple more weeks or however long it has to be. So definitely, if you have more questions, drop them in the comments below. I'm going to continue making videos about things that I think would just be helpful. So let me know if you have a question or something you'd like to see about how we do things or what we use. I would be more than happy to share that. So have a great day and happy school.